Welcome. Today, I'm going to teach you the trick every pro guitar uses to help visualize the fretboard. You can use this trick to quickly start seeing the notes on the fretboard instead of just lines and dots. So imagine you're playing a solo on stage in front of people. You're running up and down the neck, you feel great, you feel confident, you're in the flow, you're climbing higher and higher and higher, and you run out of room. Now, you know there's more guitar up there, but you don't know what's what up at that part of the neck. So your solo grinds to a halt, and you hold a note that you didn't intend to hold, and you try to get your bearings, only now you've lost your place in the song. The band's looking at you, the crowd is looking at you, and you're looking at the guitar neck like it's some sort of star chart, hoping it's gonna magically make sense. Flow gone, solo over. And you're just trying to get back on before the singer comes in. Now, this was me at so many of the gigs that I played when I was in my first cover band in high school. I would get going, I would be having a blast, I would be saying something with the instrument, and I would hit a wall. And I don't want that to be you. So first, who am I and why would you listen to me? My name is Jake, and I have 17 years experience teaching guitar from the back of guitar stores, in high schools, as a college professor, and most recently I run the online teaching community Guitar Gym Pro. So let me tell you the plan on how we're going to talk about mapping out the neck this way. We've got 3 steps today. We're going to talk about why we need to visualize the fretboard. We're going to talk about how we can visualize the fretboard, and I'm going to give you the map that all the pros use that you can use as well. So why are we doing this? Why do we need to visualize the fretboard? The guitar is not a visual instrument, the way that piano is, for example. So on a piano, you can see the white keys and the black keys, and there's a certain pattern to it. There's, a set of 2 black keys and then 3 and so on. And you can very easily see, oh, that's the note. But on the guitar, the dots don't inherently mean anything. Just because this is a dot where there's 3rd fret, it tells us it's 3rd fret, but it doesn't tell us if a note is flat or if a note is sharp or if a note is in the key of C, the way that you can look at a piano. So we need to come up with some way to map this instrument out so that we can look at it and know, well, this is a C, and this is a C, and this is a C, and that's a C, really quickly. So how are we going to do this? How can we visualize the fretboard? What we do is we use what are called octave shapes. And if you ever played like a pop punk song or anything by the Foo Fighters, you've probably seen this octave shape where we play, say 3rd fret on the 5th string, and then we're 5th fret on the 3rd string. And we can move this around to play little riffs and little licks. And so this is one of our possible octave shapes. Now what we want to do is we actually want to connect octave shapes so that we can see more than one. And I'll get into that in just a second. So one note can tell us where others of that note is, right? So when I see a C, I can see other Cs because I'm seeing multiple octave shapes. I missed that one there. There you go. That's the other C. All right, so let's talk about the map for a second. So we have what are called caged octave shapes. There's 5 octave shapes. This one here is the A octave shape, for example. This one here was the C octave shape, and we'll dive into that just a little bit more. But you see, I've got this right here, and I'm actually going to make it a little bigger because you don't need to see my right hand, so you can see this a little bit more clearly. So it's the caged octave shapes. We have a C shape, an A shape, a G shape, an E shape, and then a D shape. And this is showing you all the note Cs that we can play up to 13th fret on the guitar. So we're mapping out everything because at the 12th fret, remember, everything just repeats. So we're not looking at scales, we're looking at octave shapes. So people have this kind of discussion about like, is caged better, or 3 notes per string, or am I learning pentatonic shapes, or how am I learning scales? And caged is thrown around a lot. That's one of the options, but I'm not looking to learn scales here, just octave shapes. There's only 5 octave shapes. These are the 5 octave shapes. And so, being pro or anti-caged isn't a thing here. You may not like the caged scale shapes, but you still need the octave shapes to learn any scale shape. All right, so let's talk a little bit more in detail on the map. So we've got the caged octave shapes, again, scales, not octave shapes. So let's take a look at this very first, we're on the first fret here, this first C, and it's connected with that red dotted line to this C on third fret here. If you know any open chords, this C major chord here, we can see those two notes, right, are both C. This is our octave shape. Now, if I keep walking this up chromatically, I'm just changing the note, but they're both the same note. Both C's, both C sharp, both D, both E flat, both E, both F, and so on up the neck. So we can see this note or this note, and we instantly know where the other one is. But the magic of this comes in when we start to see not just this C chord, but this C bar chord has this octave shape here. That's our third fret on the fifth string, fifth fret on the third string. And you see that's connected with the blue line on the diagram on the page, right? So now when I see this C on first fret, I can also see this one on the fifth fret, and also this one on the third fret, and this one on the fifth fret. So even when I'm playing down here, I know that this note here on third or fifth fret of the third string is also the note C. So I'm connecting these octave shapes to help me see where all of the notes C's are on the neck. So if this was helpful for you in breaking down how we're using these caged octave shapes and at least getting a start for why they're so powerful, I have more free lessons just like this, along with a free community of other guitar players just like you. It is the best community online for guitar players, and it is free forever. You can join us at skool.com/guitar. That's school with a K, SKOOL.com/guitar. And I can't wait to see you inside.